All right, I played Hollow Knight on the PC a while back, and I eventually dropped out mostly just because there's so many PC games out there that I wanted to play, and Hollow Knight is a very difficult and exacting game. You have to get very good at it and spend a lot of time on it in order to get good. So I was not going to get good because I needed to spend all of my time on my PC playing other things. So I dropped out of it for a while. But then it came out for Switch, and on the Switch, I'm able to spend a lot more time on it. I can play the Switch in bed or on the bus, and there's all this extra time in my life that I can use to get decent at Hollow Knight. I'm not saying I've gotten decent at it yet. Quite the contrary. I think there's pretty good evidence that I don't actually know what I'm doing. But I've made it further on the Switch than I made on PC. My main problem right now is I haven't actually played this in a couple of weeks. No, maybe a week. So let's see if I remember how to do it. Ah, get away from me, you monster. Come over here. Yeah, I like these guys because jumping up near them triggers their attack, which means if I just jump really high and get in their face, let's see here. They'll attack me up in that area where I am no longer after I have fallen. So that's nice. So you can see that I've made some progress in the game because I've got some abilities that you don't start with, like wall jumping and dashing. And right now I'm dealing with the fact that when you die in Hollow Knight, you have to go back to one of the benches, which means when you're, crushing your face against a boss battle, half the problem is learning how to play the boss battle, but the other half is just getting back to the boss battle each time you fail. So that's where I am right now. I've been playing the Mantis challenge, and I got to the point, now, I'm not going to be great at it now because it's been a while since I've played it, but I got to the point where I was actually I had perfected the first phase of the battle. I didn't get through it perfectly every time, but I could get through it perfectly. But then the second phase of the battle still would defeat me. So I'm about tired of that. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try to beat it now, buddy. So I'm gonna get back some of my magical powers, kill some flying mantises. Get my energy back, and then I will drop into this place. Okay, let's try to remember how to play this. I'm gonna screw this up the first time. Okay, so right, that's the thing I always do, is I jump straight into that thing because there's actually a subtle difference in the height of where this guy lands on the, like when he clings to the cages on the side, there's a subtle difference about the height that he clings. So yeah, so if he clings low, then he throws low. And if he clings high, then he throws high. And I have to tell which one he's doing. And it's a subtle enough difference that in the heat of battle, especially when you're not very experienced with it, it can be really difficult to tell which one he's doing. Like, okay, now I can tell. That was a low one. And that is also a low one, but I'm just slow. And that's a high one. You see he's a little bit higher up. Ow! Okay, yeah, I need to get better at this. Because if this is how I'm playing the first phase of this, there's no hope for the second phase. Alright, I'm trying to heal myself just a little bit. Oh crap! Yeah. So healing in a boss battle is usually a bad idea because it forces you to hold still for a little bit, which is usually deadly. Occasionally you can find pauses that are long enough, but usually not. Okay, that's a high one. So the low throws are the times when I actually get enough time to do it. So just look how much health this guy has. It's ridiculous. I mean, you have to just keep doing this, and keep doing this, and keep doing it. Okay, so now it's 2 at once, which is just ridiculous. Just the chances of just making a completely reasonable mistake they're so high. Holy crap, right? And there's no chance to stop and heal. Absolutely no chance. And, oh, see, I just walked into the guy. Like, I'm getting so antsy that I feel the need to move more than I should. Like, I start anticipating the next attack, and I'll walk right into the enemy. What was that? Oh, that was the new one arriving. I didn't anticipate that. Yeah, I should never be that close to the edge, because if a side attack appears there... I mean, I'm assuming that each of these mantises... There we go, I'm dead. I'm assuming that each of these mantises has... It's not mantises, it's mantises. Oh, that's one of my pet peeves. I hate it when people say biases, and here I am saying mantises. So each of those mantises... I'm assuming probably has the same amount of health as the first one, right? So the first one was maddeningly long. And then I've got to last twice as long in a battle that's twice as hard. Which is just crazy. Ah! So Cloudcraft points out that he thinks that Hollow Knight benches are even less forgiving than the similar mechanic in Dark Souls, which I haven't played a lot of Dark Souls. Like, this is probably the Soulsiest game I've ever gotten into. I love that the word Soulsiest is totally a thing that means something. Such a weird word. Okay, so yeah, making a mistake on the way to the boss battle. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, what's even the point? Oh, come on. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, of course they had to do... Oh my gosh. They had to do a challenging platforming sequence between the only reasonable bench and the enemies that I'm trying to fight. Alright. I'm not even going to deal with that guy. Those guys are dangerous. Yeah, Cloudcraft points out that the guys that stand between you and a boss in Dark Souls are typically... You can sprint by them, or they're just really kind of easy to deal with compared to the boss themselves. Whereas in my case, like, I have to... If I want to have magic available at the beginning of the boss battle, I have to defeat a bunch of enemies on the way. I could sprint by these guys, but then I'd be starting with an empty goblet, which, you know, I mean, maybe that's fine. Maybe that doesn't actually matter. I mean, certainly there were a few times during that boss battle when... Wait, is this far? No. There were a few times during that boss battle when I was sitting there with a full goblet and was not using my magic on the enemies. So maybe I don't need a full goblet, but I still like to have one. But what I need to do is... Oh, that was not the right button. Okay, I'm already screwing myself over here. That's what I wanted to do. When he does that vertical attack, that's the right time for me to hit him with my magic. Because he's holding still for enough time. Oh, yeah, I almost jumped into that. But just barely did not. Okay. So each time you hit an enemy, you get some of your magic. and you earn it up, and then I think your magic attack does significantly more damage than your normal attack. Not like overwhelmingly more damage, but it's not like 5 to 1. It's more like 2 to 1, I think, is the impression that I get. I definitely have not done any scientific research on the subject. It's weird how automatically I do this stuff now. I mean, you saw how clumsy I was with this at first. I've gotten pretty used to it now. Like, I don't, you know, obviously I'm still not perfect at it, but, you know, with what I'm doing here, I think you can imagine me having had a couple of perfect runs at this first phase here. But once you get into the second phase, I mean, that's just it. I can't do it. I don't even want to blink my eyes. Okay, so when it's fast, I'm trying to remember, when that one's fast, I want to stay in the middle. And when it's slow, I want to move to the side. Okay, it's fast, so I want to stay in the middle. Oh my gosh. Oh, what the? You jerks. Yeah, see, taking time to... Oh my gosh. Taking time to use that special attack is just... Yeah, that gets you killed. It's what I'm used to doing in the first phase. In the second phase, that's just I can't use my magic at all in the second phase because it makes me stand still for a bit. I mean, maybe there's a rhythm to it where, you know, the second attack has more of a delay after it because it's the second one, but I don't even think so. Go away. Yep, you die. You know what? I don't need to fight that guy, and I'm not going to fight that guy. Sarnathum says, man, if that third mantis jumps in... Luckily, there are 3 mantises, but... You defeat one of them, and then you fight the other 2. I'm assuming that once I defeat the other 2 together, that's it. Like, if they actually have that first one recover, and then they're fighting me all 3 together... Ugh. And this boss battle is already killing me. With just these phases, these 2 phases. I'm assuming these are the only 2 phases. If there are more phases than that, might be a shelf moment for the game, for me. Alright, let's go. Nope. Oh, wow. I actually survived that? Totally misjudged that landing. Oh, crap. Already failing. So you are immune to damage for a brief second after you take it, but not really. I mean, but like the brief second... Oh, what was that even? You build up a lot of very specific skills fighting a boss battle like this, and not a lot of general skills. Like, sometimes I'm wondering, like, you know, if I spent my time practicing some more practical skill. Would that be a better use of my life? Maybe. I really need to scratch my nose right now. I've kind of forgotten where the pause button is. Oh my gosh! Ah! That's where the pause button was, but I wasn't exactly going to hunt for it during that experience. Okay, nope. Alright. You, okay, you, whoa! Ah! 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 Okay, fast mode means stay in the middle. Alright. Yes, that combo isn't bad. That combo isn't bad. It's like one vertical after another vertical that's usually the worst. Oh, see? Like, just like that. But that was my first damage. Not doing... Oh, crap! Well, now I'm doing badly. Okay, slow mode. Come over here. Ah! Oh my gosh. Alright. Slow mode. Fast mode. Oh, that was stupid. Yeah, when a vertical follows another vertical, it's the worst. Because you often just don't have anywhere to go. Because, you know, with a vertical, you've got to escape laterally. With the sideways ones, you've got to escape vertically. So you can follow a vertical escape with a lateral escape, or a lateral escape with a vertical escape pretty easily. But following a lateral escape with another lateral escape is just terrible. Because sometimes you'll go the wrong direction, sometimes you'll go off to the edge and then a sideways guy will grab you. Okay. So is it really keeping track of which enemy took what damage so I can defeat one of them and not the other? What? Oh, am I really gonna get myself killed now? Nope, I'm not. Oh my gosh! And I am so glad there's not a third phase. Okay, so what do they have for me? A door? Dare I even go through it? It's literally been days. Days of playing this game. Ugh. So what's in here? The deep nest? What's... Oh, hey, there's a thing up there. That thing looks cool. Well, let's see what's up here first. There's some cash. I can't go over there? Okay. Hey, buddy. Oh, is that the map guy? Yes, I would like to buy your map. Absolutely. Oh wait, what? Oh, I forget. This is a Switch game. So I pushed the B button instead of the A button. A means yes. Yes, I'd like to purchase a map. And so, okay, Deep Nest. Cool. That's where I am now. And I keep... Okay, I'm just making terrible decisions with the UI right now. Because I haven't been playing on my Switch lately, and so I've lost track of the fact that the A and B buttons are reversed in menus on the Switch. You know what? I kind of expected there to be some kind of actual prize at the end. Right now, all I'm like... Oh, okay, well, let's not fall down that again. Yeah, I kind of expected there to be a big reward, but no, this is just a whole new place to explore. I mean, that is a reward, right? I do love exploring in this game. But I think I'm going to stop the video here. I think I'll go ahead and explore this area on my own sometime. Because that takes a lot of time. You know? I guess I mostly just came in here because I wanted to see, I don't know, maybe having an audience would help me beat that boss battle. And I don't know, something worked. Anyway, yeah, so Cloudcraft does point out that that one thing that got me a couple of times where I would dodge out of the way of a vertically attacking enemy, and then the sideways guy would show up exactly where I had landed. He's like, yeah, it's kind of bad form to have an enemy show up with an active hitbox instantly like that. Now, technically, you know, I should have just become aware after a while, after many iterations of that I just stay off those corners. And that is what I largely did, though, you know, I made some mistakes. But at the same time, it does still feel a little bit cheap. Like if you know, you like to imagine that if you were just amazing at this game, you could beat the boss battle the very first time because there's just enough cues. There's just barely enough time for you to respond to things. And when there isn't that, when you really have to have failed a few times in order to understand it, that does feel a little bit cheap. But you know, once I actually got like experience enough with that boss battle that I really could like perfect phase 1, it did feel really good to play it. Even when I was losing to phase 2, I did have this sense of confidence that I can do this. Phase 1 made me believe I can do this. And so it wasn't as frustrating to die to phase 2 because it was demanding the same skills of me. Like if phase 2 had just changed it up and some completely different monster had showed up and it had been a completely different thing, that would have been a lot more frustrating because I would have to, you know, beat this one thing just to get a crack at beating this other entirely different thing. And it would have just exponentially increased the amount of time and iteration it would take for me to get good at it. But because all of the skills I learned in phase 1 were completely relevant to phase 2, and gave me confidence, made me believe that I really could pull it off, that made the whole experience a lot less punishing. So I still am a big fan of Hollow Knight, you know, despite the fact that took a long time and I started to question whether or not the skills I was earning were even worthwhile. At the same time, just I do feel really good having defeated that. I felt like I got really good at that in order to beat it. What, you know, again, not trying to put myself up. Like, there are great Hollow Knight players out there that I am nowhere near. I'm not trying to say that I got really good technically, relatively compared to other people. I'm saying that I feel really good, which is a different experience. Oh yeah, so Cloudcraft pointed out, and this is true, my instinct to stay off the corners is part of what got me hit by the double vertical attacks. You know, that's true. That is a little bit unfair because there were a few times that you can scroll back and see that my you know, when I dashed straight from one vertical attack into another vertical attack, it was because I was avoiding the corners. It was because I was avoiding landing in those spots. So that is a really good point. Let's see here. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up the video, and let's find something else to do. Is the weird music coming through?